Start with a roll pin punch and drive the roll pin out from either side, and one of these blocks with a hole in it is good. Hole goes all the way through on that block. You can see the punch now is holding the firing pin in. As you pull the firing pin roll punch out, pin will come out until it's caught on the firing pin safety block. So you have to push the firing pin safety block down to remove the firing pin. Then you can just remove the firing pin safety block. It's got a little spring on it. I'll show you kind of how those how those work. This is a CGW firing pin and a standard CZ roll pin. I can show you how these work relative to the firing pin. The firing pin safety block catches on the rear end of the firing pin, and as the slide comes forward, the firing pins raise as you pull the trigger. Firing pin safety block is raised as you pull the trigger. So that allows the firing pin to travel forward, but the range of motion is limited by the firing pin retaining pin and the length of this slot. So you can see the firing pin really can't move very far. Just quarter of an inch, a little less. So the hammer end of the firing pin then also has a notch in it, and it catches on the firing pin safety block till the firing pin safety block is raised by the lever that's in the frame, and as soon as it's raised, then the firing pin can move forward up to the limit of the travel of the first notch. So that's how all that works together. The idea being that the gun won't go off unless the firing pin safety block is raised. At least it won't go off due to the firing pin hitting anything. So that's how all that works. So to put it back together, put the firing pin safety block back in the hole in the slide, then turn the firing pin so that the notches are on top, and push down on the firing pin safety block, slide the firing pin and spring in, and then release it, and you can see that the firing pin safety block will at least catch it, keep it from flying back out of the slide. So got that part down, and firing pin safety blocks back in. So next, the trick is to align the firing pin axially so that the hole is clear, so that the pin will go fit in that notch that I showed you in about midway on the firing pin. You can kind of see it going in and out. Here you'll clear the notch, and then you can see, there you go. So you can see that you can push it in a little bit and that'll clear the notch. If you drive that firing pin retaining pin in when it's not lined up, you'll bend the firing pin. So don't do that. Putting it back in here, reassembling it one more time. That safety block's not straight, so turn it, get it, push it down, rotate the firing pin so the flat side's toward the top of the slide, then stick it in, release the firing pin safety block. There you go. So that's right. Now all we got to do is put the pin in, And sometimes that firing pin will rotate a little bit, so you kind of need to line it up where the flats are horizontal, and get a feel for what you're doing here by pushing the firing pin in with your finger and getting it where you can get the punch in, and then put your finger over the end of the firing pin, get your block, get the firing pin, retaining pin, line it up with the split at the top, hold the firing pin in, and tap it, and if everything's lined up, it'll tap right in and you won't bend your firing pin. Then check it. You can check it by pushing on the end of the firing pin and then pushing down the firing pin safety block and seeing that the pin moves freely and that it's retained by the firing pin safety block, and you're done.